Students be advised, the Lovercast is imminent, with your host, Soap's Loverman, aka Braden.
Hey guys, just before we start, I wanted to take a quick second to just point out some links that I'm going to have in the description of the video, and if you're listening on Spotify or a similar platform, just, detailing some resources and some activist sites and pages that you can visit in regards to the recent ICE protests that are happening across the United States, and additionally the protests we saw on No King's Day, and furthermore, with Pride Month going on naturally, us Stevas sort of have to band together, and I have some Pride links as well, just because all around, I know my platform's not very big, but I do want to take a moment just to highlight some of the things going on and some of the resources that are at your disposal. And if you want to check those out, feel free. And yeah, let's get on into it. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Hey everybody. I don't know what that was. I was sitting here thinking of how to start this, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit start and see what comes out of my brain. And evidently it was Elvis Presley. How are you guys doing? Hi everybody. It's been a while. Sorry guys. I know you're mad at me. You don't have to say it. I can feel it through the screen. I know it's been a while. I've been doing a lot of traveling. As you guys know, I just got back from back-to-back conventions. And truth be told, they kicked my ass. And I just sort of was not mentally or physically or spiritually or just generally ready to hop back into the podcast, even though I did have things I wanted to talk about. So, alas, here we are today. I'm in my shirt. For those of you that are just watching, it says Justice for, and you know that part at the end of the MW3 reboot where it's like KIA1 John Soap McTavish? It has the KIA crossed out. Anyway, just, I'm sure some of you are like, why did you have to tell me that? And it's because I needed you to know. I needed you to know. It's setting the scene. Thank you. Yeah, so if I'm a little low energy tonight, I played some tennis. I've been getting back into tennis. Really been loving tennis, y'all. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. My elbow hates me. But I've been looking for a good way to do some cardio. Because my gym routine's also gotten all thrown off with my traveling, to be completely honest. Which is okay. Like, I'm not focused on strength training right now, but I wanted a good avenue for cardio. And I was like, I want to get back into tennis, dude. So I am. I got my ball hopper, got some tennis balls. I go down to the tennis court at my apartment complex, and I just serve it up. I'm just serving. You know what I do? It's what I do. It's just, things have been crazy. I'm gearing up for fucking GalaxyCon New Orleans in like less than a month. Oh my god, I didn't really conceptualize that until this moment. Try not to freak out. Ha ha ha, try not to freak out. But anyway, speaking of conventions, I wanted to start this off because I don't really have a plan for today's podcast. Literally, if you guys have ever DM'd D&D, you know how sometimes you just like have a few like jotted down notes to start the session and you kind of just see where it goes. That's sort of where we're at today. But I've heard that some of you guys like it when I sort of just am off the cuff like this. So here we are. I wanted to speak about the conventions that I've gone to. So I'm going to start with DreamHack Dallas. It was obviously in Dallas, Texas. A bunch of us got together. We had Callie, the ghost of Callie, and his wife Bree. We had Circuit, aka Circuit the Robot. You guys probably know him, the fucking goof in the ghost mask and the cow onesie that I love to death. His boyfriend Fushakor. And then we had Micah. We had Egg Botnick. Who all was there? We had Ozzy. We had oh my god, Circuit's Mod, Roses, so sweet. And then Chimeris was there. Shogi, one of the Noble 13, I believe, or basically like the noble few of Halo 2. He was one of the few like last group of people to get off the servers on there. He's a cool guy. Um, and then we had Echo. Echo is weird. Another one of Circuit's crew. Anyway, just all around incredible people ended up being there, and some locals that were like friends of Circuit showed up too, which are great. You know, like Cosmic and Clock, and it was just super cool stuff. And then naturally, it was I was there, and then we also had Casey and we had Ash. I ended up staying with them, and just because the Airbnb situations got complicated. Um, and it was so much fun, even though this so we those of you who saw it, we did a hot tub stream while we were there, and the hot tub and pool at the Airbnb with Circuit and Callie and them didn't work. The pump was shot. I tried to turn it on and it like shut off, and then Circuit got back there and he's pretty good with like circuitry, ironically enough. um and it like caught on fire when he was trying to fix it, and it turned into this whole thing. And so the pool was stagnant and the water was gross, but we still made the best of it. It was still really fun. And then we did like a grill out the last night at Casey's Airbnb, and everyone came over, and I learned how to grill. Yes, I was on the grill. I know it's hard to believe. Wild work, I know, but it turned out really good. And yeah, so that was really fun. The con itself, it was fun. I've never been to a DreamHack, even though I live in Atlanta. I haven't been to DreamHack Atlanta either before. It was interesting. I, I got to go stream. Some of you saw me streaming, and I thought I'd play like an old easy game that's like easy to download because I got like a freeform slot. I streamed at the same time as Scotty K Fitness. I got to meet Scotty. He's a super cool guy. Did not clock how short he was. He is a sweetheart though. My God, he's such a sweet guy. Um, but he took his shirt off randomly, like before we all started streaming. Me and Ash like were like peering around the corner of the computer, like, is he have his shirt off? Does he have his shirt off out there? God damn. But I ended up like streaming, trying to do COD 4 and do trick shots because like that's just I was like I wanted to do something unique, and like Call of Duty folks were there for the Call of Duty League, which is like the new the current cycle of Call of Duty's competitive league. And so I was like, I'll play some Call of Duty, but I don't want to do like new Call of Duty. One, because the game's too hard to download. Circuit and his group, when he was on the nade shot stage, they couldn't even get Call of Duty downloaded. They didn't even get to play Call of Duty because they had some network issues. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a big Call of Duty game. So I downloaded a COD 4, and it didn't work because it's COD 4, and you can't just clean install the multiplayer. If you guys remember, it's this whole thing. You have to fix it. So then I went and downloaded COD Ghosts and trick shotted on it. Actually hit a trick shot. That was a really good one too. It was really clean, and I was super tickled. Um, and so that went really well. Did some IRL live streaming, which was really fun. I would love to do more IRL live streams. I don't know that I have the confidence just to walk around in public doing that though. I think it'll have to be at conventions, but maybe at these conventions I'll try to do some like, at least stream from my phone for a little bit so you guys can check stuff out. Yeah, it was all good fun. It was really, really cool, even with all the hiccups that happened. We all got to spend good time together. We all got really close. We got great photos. I'm sure some of you saw some of them when I was posting them on Instagram and stuff. And all around great. I mean, it was just good to see them. And then Circuit, Callie, and I sort of planned out our next wave of conventions, the soonest being PAX West. We all applied to the content creator program. They got their applications in like 12 hours before I did, and they got accepted on this last wave of invite. So I'm hoping I'll hear back by this Friday. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows, dude? Jeez. But I still haven't heard back from the GalaxyCon New Orleans cosplay application. So they don't even have someone I can clearly follow up with. So I got a name from somebody that I could sort of just get a yes or a no. Probably, who's to say what it'll be? Who's to say? So I'm also working on that, and I got to apply to the San Jose GalaxyCon circuit for cosplaying. And anyway, very busy stuff. Yeah, at the end of DreamHack Dallas, I got stuck in the Dallas airport for like 15 hours, almost a full day. It bordered on at the end of it because of some mild weather, which it wasn't even that bad of weather. It really wasn't. I feel like the Dallas airport's just shut down over everything. And it was a whole cluster, dude. Oh, it was so bad. I was so out of it and livid when I got back. I hadn't slept in like 48 hours and I had to work all day. God bless Ash. She sent me breakfast and some Red Bulls. Um, it was so sweet of her. But yeah, I was stuck there and I was like, this freaking sucks, man. This stinks. I hate it here. Um, but Otakufest. So Casey and I went to Otakufest together. I'm sure you guys saw the pictures of that. We met Align. Saw Samuel again. He remembered us. A lot of people asked us that. He like stood up and like leaned over the table and like gave us the biggest high fives ever, and then gave us hugs. After we took pictures with them and stuff. Um, and anyway, but Casey drove down here from Arkansas and stayed with me in Atlanta for like a day and a half, and then we went to Miami. I have never been to Miami. The furthest south in Florida that I've ever been is Tampa, which is only like 7 or maybe 8 hours by car from Atlanta. It's not bad. It's straight interstate. Like it's super easy. I Miami was a little bit different, and it took like 10 and a half hours to get there without paying a $20 toll, which I was like, girl, I ain't about to pay $20 to save 30 minutes. I ain't about to do that. So we took the quote unquote longer way. But we drove through the night. I just drove there. We were gonna like try to swap off, but I was like, screw it. Like I'm just gonna drive. We drove through the night. We got there at like 6 in the morning. We took a nap. We woke up. We went to the convention. We saw the COD panel. We met up with like, M and Zombie Heart and Honey Mustard cosplays. M being Kawaii Trash, who was cosplaying Pitbull, by the way, the first day. Incredible work. And then the twins, Honey Mustard and Zombie Heart, were cosplaying the. Y'all know the game Facade? Do y'all remember that? Were any of y'all around for that era? It's like the game where you like type in your responses and they'll kick you out if you say something mean and they like react to what you say. It was like a. It was. It was like really uh, you know, trend setting for its time. But now it did not age very well. But it's really like it's a cult classic. They cosplayed the two characters from that, the husband and wife, and it was so good. Um, but yeah. So anyway, we made it there. 10 and a half hours, crazy drive. Don't really ever want to do that again. Next time we go to Miami, I am for sure flying. But it was fun because Casey and I got to like road trip together. We were gonna record it, but since we decided to drive at night, it was like yeah, there wasn't much going on. But there were some things. Which Casey sent me a list of things that happened to us while we were traveling down. Oh my God. Hang on. I gotta just. Here we go. All right. So here's the list of stuff that happened. According to Casey, this is from Casey's perspective. This is 6 points of reference for the trip. Okay. So, oh yeah, I forgot about this first one. On the way here, a plane nearly crashed onto Casey on the interstate. And by that, I mean it was like so low to the interstate that Casey was like, the smoke was like hitting the cars that was coming off the plane. And like everyone was like swerving and like speeding up to get around it. So, anyway, a plane almost landed on Casey on the way here, as I guess one would have happened to them. Um, then, unfortunately, while Casey was here, she did clog the toilet. I'm not a toilet clogger. I am not one to clog a toilet. Unfortunately, we did have to DoorDash a plunger. We did have to DoorDash a plunger because I did not own one. Yes, that did happen. That did happen. Um, Perhaps the highlight of the trip down there, aside from the 3 Buc-ee's we got to stop at, because we did get to stop at a bunch of Buc-ee's on the way down there. It was great. Was a giant Florida rat. And it was a rat, because I know a possum when I see a possum. And it was not a possum that ran in front of us. A giant swamp Florida rat ran across us on the interstate. And Casey just turns and looks at me and goes, "It's Biggie Cheese on the interstate." And it was minor delirium because we had been driving for like 8 hours at that point. I had been anyway. I just giggled and giggled and cackled. Like I could not contain myself. And we were just cackling about Biggie Cheese on the interstate. But that thing was huge, dude. It was a rat the size of a possum. For sure. Like undisputable. So anyway, we keep on driving. We drive through the night. We managed to somehow barely miss Miami 5 o'clock traffic because there's awful traffic in Miami at 5 in the morning. Who would have thought? But while we were like minutes away from our Airbnb, finally, a giant ocean bird came flying at us. Like I thought it was about to slam into my car. And again, I have family that lives in Florida. I'm in Florida all the time. This has never happened to me. But it was so big. It was like a giant pelican. And it almost just flew right into my windshield. And I have a Mustang. It's small. It's low to the ground. That thing was like dive bombing my car for no reason. And it almost did, to the point where Casey and I screamed. So that happened. That happened. Um, and then, so this gets more into like us being at the con. The con was great. Like I said, we met Align, and his name is Align. It's not Elaine. Figure that out. It is Align. Um, he's such a sweetheart. It was his first convention. When we were at the panel, his parents sat behind like our group, and they were like filming him. Like his family was there. It was so cute because he's native to Miami. Um, and so his family was there, and it was just super sweet. He's such a sweetheart. Samuel, of course, was super kind. And he was tickled to see us again. He recognized us for Birmingham. He like called us out while we were at the panel. He was like some familiar faces when I was standing in line to ask the next question, and then he looked at me and Casey. Um, Super sweet. And because I was in my ghost cosplay, which he took a selfie with, like he recognized me. Um, and yeah, it was super, super cool. The first day was very tiring. We were exhausted. There was a rave each night, sort of like there is with Galaxy Cons. And it's very much, Otakufest was very much like a Galaxy Con. It was cool. We didn't go to the first rave because we were so tired. We ordered Cuban food and ate it and hung out for a little bit and then passed the hell out. The second day, um, let's see, because the first day I was Ghost, Casey was Soap. Yeah, I there was she Soap. Who was she the first day? I think she was Soap. And then the second day I was still Ghost. Or no, yeah, so God, you guys are probably like, lock the fuck in, get it together. Sorry, sorry. Uh, so the first day I was Ghost all day, and Casey was Soap all day. I'm pretty sure. Second day we split it in half. So I was Ghost for half the day. She was Soap for half the day. And then we went back and changed, and I was Captain Price, and she was Itachi from Naruto, which was really fun. And of course, while we were there, we ran into people who recognized us, which was really fun. Um, one of our friends, their handle on Instagram is that cynical one, makes really good art. Alexis, I think her name is. Her and her friend were there. They were cosplaying Ghost and Koenig. They did like a cow onesie thing, and I sent it to Circuit, and he lost his mind. And he was mad at me because I met his fans. I was like, "Bitch, then show up. Don't be a hater. Just show up." Okay. And Circuit, if you're listening, I love you, dude. But then they also did a beach day Koenig and Ghost, and it was so stinking cute. The COD cosplayers, they were so creative. And then Nerdcraft by Jacqueline. Jacqueline was there. Super sweet. Loved getting to meet Jacqueline. Because she's been involved in my community for a while now. Very cool experience. And we all got to hang out all weekend. Additionally, we met Sharkbait, Amanda, but Casey deemed them Sharkbait, so here we are. Which was really cool. And then just people were coming up, and there were some other Ghost cosplayers. Um, there were some just COD people in general. Some people who recognized me, which is always just such a treat. At one point, there was like this big area next to a line's table that like wasn't taken up by a line. I think because the person it was like for their table was like out to lunch or something. There was like nobody there, and I was just standing there, and someone walks up to me, and they were like, "I know you," and I was like, "Oh, hello." She's like, and I was like, "Oh, like where from?" Because I started getting a lot of people being like, "I know you from Instagram," which was new to me, so I was asking. And she was like, "I know you because you're the one who Neil growled your name." And I was like, "Well, yes, actually, yeah, that is me." Um, she was a sweetheart. But while we were standing there, some other mutuals came up, like people who were local or an hour away came up who I hadn't seen since like Animate Raleigh, which was really cool, um, and really special. And we like it turned into like an impromptu meet and greet. Like people just started falling into line, and like I I love a line is so sweet, and I remember him looking over and seeing like a line of people to meet me after I had just talked to him, and I saw like the gears in his brain whirring, like, who is this guy? Like, um, and then I mentioned the podcast with Bethany because he was on it right after me, and we were cutting up. Bethany, hi Pookie, and which Bethany's I'm gonna bring Bethany on this as a sort of one-to-one podcast trade-off. We're gonna have Bethany on here at some point, but and then I told him I was like, if you like podcasts, man, like just let me know. I have one, and he was like, and he told me to DM him on Instagram, which I'm gonna give him a little bit of time to sort of calm down after the con. It's his first con. I didn't want to like jump on it, but I'll send him like the picture of us and be like, hey, which I know he'll remember us for a reason that I'll discuss shortly, and just like do it then. But somebody that I did not know was going to be there, who is an absolute joy. Her name is Katie Townsend, and she voices the operator Charlie in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then in the mobiles, like the mobile, which y'all know I don't really do the mobile, but some of you might know them. But Charlie seems like a really cool character. Katie is a joy of a person. Loved like hearing what she had to say at the panel. She was super engaged. Even like she wasn't even intimidated, even being next to these big Call of Duty guys that everyone knows. Like she was like she was just rocking with it. I love her so much. She's so great. And I spent so much time at her table just talking to her because she also plays a character in Arcane. She's queer. She's on the spectrum. Like, and she's very open about all of this. And it was so cool. It was awesome just being able to rack her brain and talk to her. And we took so many funny pictures, and she demanded to see me in my kill. Anyway, long story short, she also, I think, wants to be on the podcast. I also need to touch base with her. She was like doing back-to-back conventions, though. She just got back from her last one. Again, giving them plenty of space and time because I know how it feels. Regardless. So I spent a lot of time talking to her, met a lot of cool people just hanging around, introduced her to a lot of stuff. Someone like was talking about Neil next to her, and she was like asking questions. So I did in fact tell her the lore about how he growled my name, but then followed it up by saying, but I do think he's no longer my favorite Scott, because she is my favorite Scott. I just have to say that and put that out into the universe now. Neil, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. It happens. Okay. Listen, growth, change, yada yada. She's my favorite Scott. She is so sweet. She's so funny. And we follow each other on Instagram, and we send each other memes, and it's hilarious. And it turns out she loves lemurs. We bonded over our mutual affection for lemurs. As you guys know, it's kind of a niche thing that I've talked about, but I love lemurs. Someone drew me lemur fan art the other day, and I showed her, and it was so cute. Anyway, but I'm really looking forward to that, especially for those of you who've been following my streams. If you haven't, come check it out if you feel so inclined on twitch.tv/SoapsLoverman. I have been playing Mass Effect, the original trilogy, which I adore. I adore Mass Effect, and just broadly, I adore the whole Mass Effect franchise. Now, the black sheep of the franchise is Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda, right? The game as a whole can be kind of a sluggish kind of process to go through. But there are some really cool characters. In particular, the voice acting in the game is solid. Like, it's really good voice acting. It was sort of betrayed by the lack of good animation and stuff like that. But the story's there. In particular, I didn't know this. She voices one of my favorite characters from Mass Effect Andromeda. Go figure. Small world, right? Dude, I was like over the moon. But she voices Suvi, the doctor, on like your ship as you're sort of playing through Mass Effect Andromeda, and is just, I don't want to give it away any spoilers because my plan is to hopefully bring her on the podcast after we played through and met that character and talked to her a little bit, so you guys can give her questions and ask her questions not only about the voice acting process but specifically about Mass Effect. Because I was like, at the panel when she started talking about being in Mass Effect, I got up there and I was like, so I'm a unique character in that I am like the dichotomy, the mixture of Mass Effect and Call of Duty. Like, those are my two big things that I love. And so we just really kicked it off. Anyway, that was kind of the highlight. Me and Casey just loved hanging around her table. That was sort of where we ended up posting up. Samuel left pretty early on Sunday, unfortunately, so we didn't get to see him on Sunday. Align hung out, so we got to see him. Very cool guy. We gave him and Katie a little con sticker because Casey gets con sticker packs and hands them out to everybody. And we gave one to Align's handler, and then Katie. The absolute truth: the handlers of these celebrities are some of the most wonderful people ever, and they're all so interesting. I'm mutuals with Align's handler. We send each other frog memes. And then Samuel's handler was really, really cool. I think some of them are going to be at like GalaxyCon New Orleans or some of these GalaxyCons, like they're going to be there. And like they were encouraging us to like come to some Pacific Northwest fests, which I'm trying to do because Circuit's moving up there. Cali's on the West Coast. I love the PNW. Would love to be up there more. And anyway, so they were both really sweet. And then obviously Katie's handler was really sweet. Katie's handler was a nurse and then noticed my hand. So we started talking about my hand for a while, which was really cool too. Because I love getting to sort of talk about my disability in the context of cosplay and like going to these conventions and stuff. Yeah, and really we just hung out with friends. We got some good shopping done. I bought so much stuff. I've shown it on stream, from things from like pins to stickers to I got a shirt that's the Carcinization Club, and it's all about crabs because I have a claw. And honestly, one of the crabs on the shirt, his claw looks like my claw. If you guys want to see it, I'll probably wear it on stream from time to time, or in another podcast. But truth be told, I have it all put away. I don't feel like getting it all out. I gotta be honest. I just don't. But I can show you guys while I'm here. One, Sharkbait gave me this cute little diva duck that I now keep on my desk. But I do, for those of you watching this, it's this cute little purple duck with like winking, and oh, it's just so cute. But a lot of the stuff is like already on the shelf, including the sign I got from Katie. And then the posters behind me. You guys know, those of you who watch my stream or anything, you can actually see Samuel's signature, yeah, like right here above my finger. Those of you who are watching, it's just I got Samuel to sign the Ghost poster. I had Align sign the Alejandro poster. He had like a neon green marker that like matched the color palette of the actual poster, which was really cool. And I don't think he really gotten to use it much, so he was super excited to like use it. And then so now I just need Elliot and Barry's signature. To complete the 5 signed posters, which I'm super excited about. The quest continues. In terms of the stickers that I handed out, which I think I'm gonna make these buyable on my page. I might give these out. I might continue giving these out at GalaxyCon, but I'm working on setting up my store hopefully before GalaxyCon, so you guys can at least order a pin or something if you want it to wear to the convention or just whatever. I'm going to try to prioritize it by the end of this week. But the stickers that I gave out, one, it's like my 3 cosplay get-ups. It's my Shepherd, my Ghost, and my Price. And then my tartan in the background, which Katie clocked immediately. So funny. Also, I took a picture with Katie in my kilt. She loved it. Well, first, let me show this before I get ahead of myself. It's my hand heart in a gay heart with my name on it. And they both have my websites on there because y'all know I made my website. I'm an official girl. And the store will be up there too. But Casey decided to live her best life at this convention and become the hot dog. Casey brought a hot dog suit and wore a hot dog with fishnets and boots, which was incredible. And Katie demanded that we come back and show her when Casey was wearing that, and was so funny about it. It was so sweet. Got a picture of Align in the hot dog suit. Samuel had left, unfortunately, so he did not get to see the hot dog, but there will be another opportunity. There will be another opportunity. He had heard about the fact that Casey was going to be a hot dog, so he will notice. He will know who she is next time. I mean, it was just generally a good time. Casey and I just had a really fun time. One of the most fun parts, because the con was awesome, and like meeting, Align was really cool, and the networking we did was great, and meeting all these new friends and shopping. I love cons. It was hot. We were outside in tack gear. It was a lot. I didn't even go to the Call of Duty, the Call of Duty meetup, because it was outside in Miami in the summer. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go out there and overheat. Sorry, that's not me. So anyway, there was some weird, like the convention center, the main events were separate from the main convention hall, which you had to walk outside to get to, and it was like a really kind of long walk outside, and it was hot and humid and gross. Um, so most of the time we were just hanging around the main area. Admittedly, I skipped out on a few of the main events because I didn't feel like walking around outside to get to it. Um, and anyway, when we got there, the funniest part about it though, guys, this is my little secret. We did this so confidently because I thought it's the way we did it. We went in the exit. Like we weren't supposed to go in that way, but no one was manning it. And someone just walked out. And so me and Casey were just like, okay, the door's open. And we just walked in. And like I looked around, I was like, this doesn't feel like where we were supposed to go in at. And then I just see the front desk handing out badges. And I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna go get my badge. And then we get up there and there's people going through a metal detector over to our left. And I was like, oh, we didn't do that. But I was like, anyways, so I just got my badge and Casey got hers and we just went in. I did not get prop checked one time that entire weekend, which like is kind of a safety concern because I have my grenades on me. I have a clearly fake gun. It's extremely fake and also it's cheap. So if they ever like, nope, I can just throw it away and be like, okay, whatever. But I have like pistol mags. I'm in tactical gear. They didn't even check me once. Um, Even when I was changed and when his price didn't even get checked. Like it was nuts. I was like, naturally, I'm not gonna do anything. Like I would not be bring anything of a concern to a thing. But like I looked over at Casey and I was like, that's kind of concerning that they didn't really do anything. Like I don't know. So anyway, it was just we were just like, oh, okay. So there were some questions we had about the venue, but overall it was a really great experience, and I think Align had a great first convention. And he mentioned that he and Samuel are. I was like, dude, you have to get the COD guys together, and he and Samuel are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He was like, we're trying to. He's like, we trying to pin down Neil's impossible. Um, and then one of my friends came up to me and said that Samuel, for no reason in particular, called Neil a good boy, which made me cackle. Not even in reference to the game. Like it was like just off the cuff for no reason, made me giggle. Um, and I was like, they gotta just they seem almost like the brotherly siblings that like bully each other out of like affection is what the sort of vibe I get from them. But Align was talking about, I was like, dude, we need Elliot. I was like, please. I was like, dude, please get the gay guy. I was like, because like he complimented like my little gay heart that I had and my gay stuff and Pride Month, and I was like, dude, I was like, speaking of Elliot, please, I was like, please convince him to go to one. Also, because I need a signature. I need a signature, and Barry, I'm sure will pop up at some point when he's not super busy. But I was like, y'all, I was like, what are the odds that like all the COD guys get together? And he's like, dude, believe it or not, we're working on it. He was like that. He was like, we really want that to happen. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm here. I'm listening. But he and Samuel are going to be at Chicago Game Expo, or it's like some game expo in Chicago in August, which I believe is the same weekend as San Jose, which I've already pretty much committed to San Jose. There's a chance I might say, It depends on like how much traveling I can do. Like if, because I'm going to be over on the West Coast a lot. I'm probably also going to TwitchCon, which is going to be a whole thing. And so like I might pass on San Jose to go to if they announce that he and Align are going to be in Chicago, because I've been wanting to go back to Chicago forever, and it's more local. It's on our side of the country, so might be doing that. Stay tuned. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's a lot of yapping about both conventions, but I think that sort of catches y'all up to speed, gives y'all a little lowdown on what we went through. But perhaps the most memorable part of the entire trip to Miami for me, Biggie Cheese and the con itself with Sanding, loved all of it. Do not get me wrong. This is not me saying that like, but Casey and I on the way back, I had to work. She needed to get some work done. So we decided to stop halfway at St. Augustine. If you guys don't know, St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States, as far as I'm aware. It was like 15 something. It was founded. And it was like a port city, and they have a big fort there that's still there. You can like go tour. We didn't go do that. But I've only been there one other time, and I fell in love with the city, and I've been looking for an excuse to go back ever since. And Casey was like, well, why don't we just stop there? And so we did, and after I finished work, we went out, and like we went out on the town, and it was so much fun. That city is so special to me. Like the city itself, the historic district, like the downtown area, is set up in what the remnants of the fort. like the Fort City. So it's like this old walkable cobblestone street style little city with like these old buildings and the same layout. And like you have to walk through where the drawbridge used to be and the big gates to get in the city just to get in there. All the cities are like, all the buildings in the city are like raised up like a foot off the ground just for like flood water potential. And like it's such a cool city. The vibes are impeccable. If you guys know Savannah, Georgia, or any cities that are like old colonial or pre-colonial port cities, it has that vibe of like, honestly, the first time I went, I wanted a ghost tour, and I really wish we had time to do one while we're there because I love ghost tours. But I like, it's that kind of a city where you get there and you're like, ooh, there's an energy here. Um, if you ever get the chance to go, go. If you've been, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's such a joy. But we got dinner. We just walked around a bunch. Like a lot of the shops close early on a Monday because we were there on a Monday night. But we like went, had a good dinner and just walked around and cut up and had a good time and got cheesecake at this really random cool cheesecake like restaurant in a house. And then we like went, and found these random bars, and it was so special. And like it was just really good quality time for the two of us after the chaotic weekend that we'd had, honestly. Um, and we had a great time. And then we got up the next morning, had brunch, and then went home. We were here, and then Casey stayed here. We hung out. We were gonna get here and like film a podcast or maybe stream. We had all these grandiose ideas, and Casey fell asleep at like 10:30 and I fell asleep at like 11:30. Like we were just dead. And honestly, it's taken me this long to feel like a normal human again after those back-to-back conventions cuz that was nuts. That was insane. Um Also, I have no inclination to really go back to Miami anytime soon unless there's a convention there. Align really said that he's going to try to be there again next year, so we'll see. I could see, since it's like a GalaxyCon parent company, Otakufest is, that maybe Neil and Samuel might show up. So we'll see. But I'm definitely flying next time for sure. Okay. Convention stuff aside, that's going to be the majority of the episode today, and I'm going to try to keep it a little short. Both for ease of editing on my part, and also just because I'm trying to get these to be around 45 minutes. Another thing that happened since our last episode is that Green, my moderator, Michael Green, went to boot camp. And I did as much Mass Effect as I could when I got back from the before the con, and after the con, just like really just sort of set it up. We didn't quite finish it, unfortunately. So I've been making sure to save all the VODs and stuff for him because y'all know he loves it. Those of you who are active in my community know that Green adores Mass Effect now. But yeah, he headed out. I think he's on week 3 of boot camp. So he's like a third of the way through. And he'll be back. I keep a timer on my Twitch. I think he'll be back, and today it's like 37 days. So basically a little over a month. And we're all rooting for him. I just sent him a letter because I have like, he listed me as like a trusted sender or whatever. So I sent him a letter with the collage of pictures from the convention and like me and Casey's time in St. Augustine and some pictures I had drawn. And anyway, I know he's probably super duper busy and on a tight schedule, but I think on Sundays typically they have the most time to look at those things. So if he hasn't seen it yet, I'm sure he will soon. But I let him know that like everyone misses him and that we're all sort of waiting on his return eagerly, and we're cheering for him, we're rooting for him. Yeah, so we miss you, Green. If you're like coming back through and listening to these once you're out of boot camp, we miss you, and I hopefully future you, I'm glad you're back. But in this moment, it's tough. We miss you, buddy. And we're already trying to figure out something special. Some special way to surprise him when he gets out. If he has a slot, because they only get like 5 slots at graduation. If he has a slot, I might be invited to go to the graduation, which if I am, we're going to make it work. I'm going to do like a dono goal on Twitch, just to like cover like a flight up there. And then I want to do like, anything extra is going to be set aside for like just special gifts for him and stuff. And just see if we can make it happen, because it'll be pretty last minute if it does happen. But if it doesn't, me and Vanitas, one of the moderators, have been sort of discussing a strategy for a surprise for him when he maybe gets home for a little bit. So we'll see. What else can I talk about for the last little bit of this? Oh, so I had my Icarus moment over the past 48 hours. I did. I had my Icarus moment. So I decided, inspired a la Brittany Broski, to make a secret Braden account. Inspired by I Lost My Marbles Again, which is what she did. And she made like a secret account, super secret. And I did that. And some art by Marshy inspired me to do that. And I just was gonna use it to like shit post on, and like any idea that popped in my head I was just gonna do, because like I want to keep my cosplay stuff mostly cosplay or like stream stuff. But this is like when I'm not in cosplay and I'm like in the middle of the workday and have just a stupid idea in my head. I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And I've been doing it. And one of them has gone viral to the point where Circuit found it and like left a comment, and like people are seeing it and they're like, Braden, what the fuck? Why do you have another account? And now I'm just like, I have girl boss too close to the sun, I fear. Yeah, it's been a whole thing. It's been really funny. I let some people in stream know what it was, just to let my regulars sort of in on the secret. But I fear it's not really a secret anymore. Very quickly it turned into not a secret. So that's been really, really weird and fun. Oh, also, if you want to find it, I technically said the name that I use on that account. If you search 2 keywords, you'll probably fucking find it at this point, because it had a TikTok go viral on it. Oh, and then those of you who are listening from across the pond, if you have any idea of the show that I say following, you probably know where I'm going with this. There's a soap opera from the UK, and it is called Emmerdale. And it's long running. It's been long running. And it's way better than any soap opera. If you're a United States listener and you hear soap opera and you cringe internally, I get it. But their soap operas are different. Like the writing might not be like impeccable, but like the camera quality is totally different. Like it's good. It's like a normal show. And by comparison anyway. But me and my bestie, the one who wrote the book that I'm gonna eventually read sometime soon and have her on, the one with like the trans mask characters, and just it's very gay and queer, and it's set in Utah, and it's like she's a supernatural girly, so there's like a lot of supernatural stuff going on, like beasties, and like it's a murder mystery. It's really cool. Just super superficially into that book. Still have to get into that, and once I do, I'm gonna invite her on here, and I'm also gonna tell you guys about it too, so you have the chance to read it, and then we can ask her questions. But we bonded in college over this mutual appreciation for this love, like this pairing in this Emmerdale soap opera, and it's Robert and Aaron. So Aaron Dingle and Robert Sugden, and they were like this big pair, and they were like Robert's like bisexual and Aaron is gay, and like Robert was cheating on his then fiance or wife, I forget, I think wife, with Aaron, but like would deny everything and was like kind of just an ass. And like there's like this really, really good scene where like Aaron like confronts Chrissy, who's like Robert's wife. And I just remember Lauren and I like watching when that released, like sipping wine, we were like painting stuff and just like, ooh, and like, but the other day, so like we watched it to completion, and like, it's a soap opera. Robert left the show, his actor left the show, and like it was like very dramatic, and like they got a divorce. They like Robert went to jail for life supposedly, and the guy left the show, and Aaron's character stayed on the show. Anyway, forgot all about it after that because we were only really into it because of that pairing and the drama and all that stuff. So like 2 weeks ago, Lauren is her name, texts me, and she's like, Braden. And she never spam texts me. And I'm like, what? Who died? Like, what happened? She's like, they're back. I was like, who? She was like, them, all caps. And she said, Robron is back, because that's the ship name. Robert and Aaron. It's Robron. And I was like, there's no way. 6 years later, there's just no way. And like, because Aaron's like been through different boyfriends, and he like whatever, and he's like was set up to marry this other guy on the show. And I was like, there's no way. They brought Robert back, and he is confirmed to be there for the foreseeable future on the day of Aaron's wedding to a different man. Listen, you guys know I love tragic gays. I love dramatic gays. I immediately, me and Lauren were like, ooh. Like, it was that same vibe. We were like right back in college again, and we were just like talking about it. Like, I was back on Tumblr, like looking at posts, like kicking my feet, like ooh, and then like going back in there and watching like the YouTube highlights where someone goes through and clips only the scenes with those two characters, because it's a soap opera. There's a bunch of storylines in there that I don't care about, but I really care about them. And it's like been a big reveal, and they're finally sort of like putting him in regular episodes again, and like he's showing up, and there's drama brewing. And I was like watching it today when I should have been filming this, and I was like, "Ooh, it's getting good." So if you guys want any in on this little tidbit of information that I tend to harbor, look up Robert Sugden, Aaron Dingle on YouTube. You can find like the recent clips of them. There's an account called Aaron Dingle on YouTube that uploads all of them. It's so dramatic and messy and good, but you really, to fully understand it and to fully appreciate it, you have to watch from the start. You have to watch them like years ago and how they get to where they are, because that is some of the most dramatic gay shit I've ever seen on television. It is so good. It is so good, dude. Anyway, y'all go check it out. Let's do songs of the week and wrap this up so I can actually stay on schedule for once and try to keep these around 45 minutes moving forward. Because frankly, that extra 30 minutes that I've spent editing has been a lot. It's been a lot, and I'd rather just cut down on that. So, my recent songs. Let's see. A big one. Big one that I first discovered. It's called Who We Want to Be by Tom Day. Love that song. Love that song. And it's one that it came out in 2012, and it came across my YouTube recommended again, and I remember being obsessed with it. And I've been listening to it on repeat. There's no lyrics. It's like one of those that you listen to and just like think about your OCs and like stuff like that, your favorite characters or whatever. If you guys like to do that, if you're like me, which I know y'all are, let's just be honest. Go check it out. It's Who We Want to Be by Tom Day. Love it, love it, love it. Another one is Isimo by Bleachers. Love that song. The one that's like, you were just a kid when they told you you were born to bleed. Little soldier, magnetic heart and sentimental boulder, or whatever, however it goes. Like, oh, they put you down, like, but look at you, you made it out. Love that song. So pretty. Sad, but really good. Uh, this is a random one. Daddy Lessons by Beyonce. I don't know. It's something that Lemonade, I love that album. I like got to analyze it as part of an assignment in college, and I have a really deep appreciation for that album as a piece of art. Daddy Lessons in particular was never a song that I like really clicked with back in the day, but for some reason now I heard it and I was like, it was like hearing it for the first time. I was like, holy shit, this is so good. I Find Your People by Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. Very pretty song. It's like a folky song if you like that vibe. Um, but I like listening to it because it's a song that reminds me that I thought I had found my people and I hadn't. And it's not that like I'm not friends with those people anymore, because a lot of them I am, but like we've just all sort of grown apart, and we weren't at chapters in our lives where we were really looking to do the same thing often and to do it consistently and to be there for each other and to show up. Like we were sort of friends of convenience at the time, or just like, for some other there were external reasons as to why I think we were friends. There were pressures there. And those changed, and so our friendships changed, and they didn't go away. They've just changed. But Find Your People is a song that reminds me every time I hear it that like you will find your people. You are going to find a group of people that are going to stay. Maybe it's not in your late teens. Maybe it's not in your early 20s. Maybe it's not in your mid 20s. Maybe it's not in your late 20s. A lot of people say once you get around 30, that's when you start to meet the people in your life who are going to show up and stay there. And that's just what that song makes me think of. And let's see. I think I'll just throw another one in here just for fun. That's another one I've been listening to. This isn't like it's not a new song. It's been on TikTok, bits and pieces. But Love Me Not by Raven Lenae. Very pretty song. It like has like that clip that's really popular on TikTok, but the whole song is just really good. If you guys like, it's more it's what you expect, but I like listening to it. It just for some reason it just scratches my brain. yeah. Okay. I think that's it for this week, guys. I think that's my check-in. That was a lot of me just yapping and catching you guys up. Sorry if this podcast was a little bit boring. I could see this episode being a little boring, but I just wanted to get you guys completely caught up so that in the next few episodes, hopefully we'll have a few guests in some of them. They'll be a little different, but this was just a catch up to be like, hey, sorry I've been gone for 3 weeks. Oopsies. But I loved the traveling I did. I've been tired. I've been rejuvenating, just working a lot, and just dealing with different stressors in my life that I wasn't expecting, from people that I wasn't expecting, unfortunately. And on top of like Green going to boot camp and just stuff like that, where it's just like, I'm blessed in so many ways, do not get me wrong, and I'm very happy with my life, but there's just been some roadblocks lately. So anyway, that is all to say, I know it's been rough for a lot of people lately. And just generally in our country, if you're a United States citizen, you know exactly. I had a little tidbit at the beginning of this podcast about that. Again, resources in the description. Take care of yourselves. Be vigilant. Be smart. And if you always have a home in my community if you need one. And we will support you. And yeah, I love you guys. And I will see you hopefully next week with God knows what at this point. It could be a guest or it could just be me yapping. We will definitely see. All right, you guys. Love you. Take care. And I will talk to you later. Bye. La la la. I am Lord. This is my outro song because I don't have one yet. Yippee!
Who the fuck is Braden?